All right, friends, it's T-Man, and I'm back, my friends, with a new and improved video, bro. It's on Dr. Layne Norton. I don't know if you heard of him. He's the fake doctor. He wants to convince you that volume builds a muscle. Does more volume always mean more gains? Well, there you go. So he wants to convince you the volume is going to give you a gain. Well, volume is definitely going to give you a gain, but it's not the kind that you want, that you're seeking. Anyways, let's review this video and see what he says here. Does more volume always mean more gains? Yay. If you're asking me, it definitely means more inflammatory gains. Yes, fake artificial gains. Okay, and maybe some sarcoplasmic, yes.
Video, and this week we're talking about training volumes. Specifically, do super high volumes produce super results? But first, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Follow the algorithm. There was a recent study.
Like, how hard is it to understand that? In science and NCBI, they've told everybody knows protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. What type of protein is this? In science, they're talking about animal protein, a high nutrient dense, no nutrients missing or anti-nutrient or filled with toxins or sugar, but a high animal nutrient diet that is micronutrient dense. That's all. Dense, nutrient dense. Okay? That's all they're talking about. And it's got to exceed this breakdown in proteins. And proteins are breaking down all day. They're breaking and rebuilding as we speak right now. It's on a very small level, which you can't see, okay? A micro level. You need a microscope. That's why they call it, we get micro damage, micro injuries, micro damages, micro tears. You can only see with a microscope. Now, how do you see it physiologically? With proteins. Yeah, you have to actually eat real protein. Yeah. Volume is not going to really cut it unless you want to get some phony muscles. Yeah.
Published that has gotten a lot of attention on social media.
Cripes. Effects of different weekly set progressions on muscle adaptations to train males. Is there a dose response effect? Well, my old channel, I had a bunch of stuff explaining all this phony muscle stuff that was growing and how muscles grow, the fake strength, this, that. I had them all there, but now I have to go back and look for all over. I have to look for all of them now. It's a lot of work, man. But anyways, yeah, this is ridiculous. Dose effect. What is this dose effect?
And in fact, it's funny. I've seen Minnow Henselman's post about it. I've seen my friend Dr. Pack post about it. I've seen Milo Wolf Coach post about it. At the bottom of the commentary.
So more misinformation out there that a volume is going to somehow build you a muscle, bro. Get it? Yeah.
Is people are going to lose their minds in the comments. And unshockingly, people lose their minds in the comments, and I'm sure people are going to lose their minds in the comments here. But just remember, I'm going to try and give you
I can't tell you adding more volume to your so-called workouts when you're going to the gym. You definitely are breaking down more proteins, and then when you're going home and eating, you're just protein turnover. But you're definitely going to get hypertrophy in the form of inflammation in your muscles. They'll be inflamed, definitely. And you may get some more, sarcoplasmic muscles, these artificial muscles. Yes, definitely with volume. This is why I'm trying to tell you. Every channel you go to, it's either supplements that create phony muscles, a volume creates it, a heavy weight creates it, a breatharian diet will create you muscle. I don't know. It's everything. Everything out there will build you a muscle, but that which actually builds a muscle, protein synthesis, needs to exceed that breakdown. Well, why do they do this? Because they know you don't have money. Their audience is a very poor audience that is watching this. People who are busy working, lawyers, this, that. People with real time, they don't do any of this. They don't do any of this. And if their people are working out there that are lawyers or whoever, maybe they're just so sedentary. I don't know. They don't know what to do with themselves, or mostly it's their diet making them weak and sick. And so they just go to the gym trying to get their body stronger and better because they're eating a slave diet. I don't know. I can't really tell you what everybody's doing out there, but everybody's doing it for their own reasons, and they have a reason for what they're doing, but they don't really know. They don't exactly know what they're getting. Yeah, that's the difference. But anyways, yeah, he's catering to the poor people because come on, man, a volume builds a muscle. How is this possible?
Unbiased breakdown of the study as I can, how it fits in the context of the overall data, and what caveats there may be. This study was essentially looking at different weekly progressions in training volume and how they affected strength and muscle mass. But first, we gotta go back. And let's talk about my bias here, because I do have a bias. And this is one of the things that really upsets me or annoys me. People who say, well, I don't have a bias. Yes, you have a bias because you have a personal experience.
I have no bias whatsoever, man. I'm just into real stuff, that's all. I have no bias, nothing against you. I know who you are, and I know you're a fake doctor, okay? A lot of your information is fake. You don't bring up any real proof. What about myonuclear domain size limit? You never talk about that. You never talk about the repeated bout effect of muscle damage. You never talk about any of these things, to tell you the truth. Never talk about satellite cells or anything like that. Them building muscles, the progenitor cells, yeah. Myoblast cells, fibroblast cells. You never talk about these things. You never talk about how long these things take to repair in a model. You never talk about protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. You never really talk about like real stuff in the real world. You're like all over the place, like in some fantasy world. Anything to give misinformation to keep people entertained on your channel so they keep watching you. God forbid if you were to give away the truth of how muscle is truly built, oh, they wouldn't be watching you no more, because once they got the secret, what the fuck do they need a Dr. Layne Norton for, right? See what I mean? Yeah. But you could cater there's other ways to cater to people. Even though you've given them the means of how to build their body properly, they probably come back and watch you because they'd be thankful. But then again, many people are selfish, so they're not worth saving, right? You know what I mean?
Biases are fine. What's important is to be honest about your bias. I have been training for 25 years. My best results, be it...
You've been training to lift boxes in a factory for 25 years? That's insane, bro.
Strength or hypertrophy, and for catching up.
Strength and hypertrophy. So he's another person that doesn't associate hypertrophy with strength, because there's fake hypertrophies and then there's the real ones. There's 2 real ones and then there's 3 fake ones. And then there's some other, you can call the supplement ones are the other fake ones. So that's on the other side, the natural part. But then the real phony part, when the people are supplementing, trying to create some phony muscles like creatine and things like that, loading water in their muscle. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is crazy.
My legs, which were a very weak point for me in bodybuilding for a long time, all came through the use of high volume training. And when I say that, especially to get my legs to grow from about 2006 to 2010, from when I won my pro card in natural bodybuilding to when I competed as a pro.
Oh, so you were a competitor. You've got to be fake, man. You're a social media star, bro. I don't know anybody gonna go out there and do it real, man. They gotta be nuts.
Made big improvements in my lower body that were very noticeable, and many of the judges actually came up and asked what I did. On average...
Yeah, I know what you did. I don't know if I could share with the audience here right now, but everybody on my channel already knows what you did, bro. You faked it to make it.
My weekly amount of sets was probably around 30 for quadriceps and
Bro, you can't fool me, man. Ain't no set gonna build no muscle. Neither will volume. What the fuck is wrong with you?
probably around 15 to 20 for hamstrings and around 30 for calves. Now, I didn't have the best legs on stage, but they went from being...
Let me get this straight. You have 348 minions, like brainwashed minions, listening to this shit, bro. They believe this. Look at this, what this guy writes down here. For the Algor ITM, what is this? The algorithm to help you, eh? It's for the algorithm to help spread more fake information out there. Fake doctor, fake whatever, man.
Very, very toothpick-like to respectable. Most of those sets were taken close to failure within a few reps, and I did have longer rest periods. Now, I'll come back to that in a little bit. And
I like your little bodybuilding picture here of you flexing here. You look, it's cute, man. You're telling me that you didn't take anything phony, you didn't do any testosterone, anything like that, Dr. Layne Norton? Come on, are you a real doctor, man, or just you got some fucking Maybe you're a chiropractor for all I know. I don't know.
When I was training for powerlifting, when I competed in 2014 Nationals, 2015 Nationals, 2015 Arnold Classic, and the 2015 IPF Worlds, where I set a then...
Holy shit, this guy competed a lot in this field, bro. You're telling me he did it real, eh? Oh, for sure, yeah. Volume builds a muscle, yeah.
At the time, world squat record of 668 pounds.
Whoa, squat records and everything, Christ.
In the 205-pound class, my squat volume was very high. And I went from, what I thought was my top-end squat of about 600 pounds. When I was squatting low fives, mid fives, I thought maybe one day I could hit a 600 to a level that I didn't think was possible for me. That really, the only thing that limited me was I got injured. I think I would have still continued to progress if I hadn't gotten injured. And especially before Worlds, my weekly...
You got injured because you're weak. You have a weak body. That means that your muscle was fake. You wouldn't get injured if you actually built muscle and those weights would feel light. So... yeah, I know you're fake.
Squat volume was in excess of 25 sets per week. And the lightest weight I touched for those 4 weeks before Worlds was about 510 pounds. So
okay, I don't want to know your lifting stuff. Let's go into this phony shit.
Of weekly hard sets. Okay, so there's those quantifiers out of the way. There's my personal bias out of the way. What did this study examine? So this study was a 12-week study where they started people out at 10 sets per week. So 6 different times. Every 2 weeks, they increased the set number by either 2, 4, or 6 sets. With the top number of sets in the high volume group at the end being 52 sets per week, okay? Each set was taken to 2 RIR, which is 2 reps in reserves, meaning it was supposed to be 2 reps shy of failure, and they rested for 2 minutes between each set, and they took
Right, okay.
the last set of each exercise to failure. What did they find?
So many emails.
What did they find? It was fake.
Nor. Oh, finally. Wait, I may need to make...
They took it to failure.
Well, what they found...
They took it to failure. What did they find? Failure. That they got more inflammation? Are these natural people on drugs, faking it? What are they using? Some fake supplement or something? Like, come on, bro.
Was that in terms of strength, interestingly, there appeared to be a dose response, and there were statistically significant differences between the low and moderate volume group and then the moderate to high volume group in terms of the set number.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. Layne Norton. You're a doctor. How are you walking on this planet, on this earth? How are you walking around? How are you able to pick up your cup of tea and all that, and, toilet seat, whatever, chairs, maybe a television set or something, or boxes off the floor, whatever. You're shopping, walk with your shopping home without stopping, dropping it, a heavy load. Are you not strong? You're using your muscles, right? Don't muscles make you strong in your bones? What happens if you get more muscle count, more muscle fiber count? What happens if you get more muscles or bigger muscles? Do you not get stronger? Like, to you, strength means to be good at lifting something off the floor. If you get more muscle, won't those weights feel lighter if you actually get real muscle? See what I mean? You know how hard it is to grow real muscle, man? This guy's insane.
Increases. So they saw the most strength increase in the highest volume group, the second most in the second highest volume group, and the least strength increase in the 2 sets progression group. What did they find for muscle thickness? Well,
I know I've mentioned this before. I mentioned that bodybuilders that do higher reps, aren't they stronger than people that do 1 rep? See what I mean? They're similarly lifting the same weight.
Find statistically significant differences between groups, but
I mean, in that regard of strength, to lift something, Christ.
P-values were really close. So the P-values were P of like 0.06 to 0.07 or 0.08. Now, why is that important? Your P-value is essentially a marker of whether or not something is statistically significant. Now, in statistical speak, P-values of less than 0.05 are considered statistically somewhere to call something close to failure. They were getting close enough to failure to consider these intense sets. People can be notoriously bad at estimating their RIR.
Okay.
Effects going from, say, 10 sets a week to 20 sets a week to 30 sets a week, and even looking.
What? Dose response relationship between weekly resistance training volume and increases in muscle mass. Okay. So what? That could be glycogen. Yeah, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. And so what? Okay. And even inflammatory response. Some loading and unloading, gravitational loading, unloading. And big deal.
At triceps growth, particularly. Now, I'm not saying it's unique to triceps.
They equate anything with an inflammatory response as being muscle growth. If you hypertrophy, they measure you, or you stand on a scale, even some weight as well, through sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That could be misconstrued as muscles. Get it, bro? They're not. A DEXA scan can't see the difference between myofibrillar and sarcoplasmic. It doesn't even see any of these things, even inflammatory response and inflammation in the muscles.
Triceps growth. It just happened to be the.
Listen, you know how people get their penis big? They put in a penis pump and they pump it up, right? All this fluid and everything. The tissue kind of blows up. Fluid goes into the tissues and everything. It's got an inflammatory response. It looks inflamed when they take the penis pump off. It's not hard or stiff like it would normally do. That's why they have to put a ring on it. They put a ring on it to keep the fluid in there, but it will definitely not be hard. It'll be inflamed and big. Well, that's it. And that's why it looks bigger. But once the inflammation is gone, it goes back to normal. It's small. Yeah. It's just like your muscles. The same thing. It's fake.
Muscle that they had the highest set data on. They saw 27 to 45
A gym is just like a penis pump. Everybody's going there to penis pump their muscles.
weekly sets was better than like 20 to 25 weekly sets. So I can't remember the exact number. The point being, when you go from an already high number of weekly sets to a higher number of weekly sets, it appears to still have a growth effect. Furthermore,
that is, yeah, of course, a phony growth effect. Christ, man. I'm done with this. I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next video. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I can't watch this longer, man. It's just going way too long. Dr. Layne Norton, he's so fake, man. This is ridiculous shit. See what I mean? A high volume is going to build a muscle. Yeah, right. Okay.